It's that time of the year. It's getting cold. I live in Iowa. It's cold here. It's already cold. 30 degrees out right now. It's that time of the year. I'm like half of a fishing YouTuber. Maybe a third fishing YouTuber. Self-proclaimed bait maker is what I really am. Let's make some baits. We're gonna add to the lineup. That is correct. Marling Baits has a lineup. Did you know that? I hardly knew that. I think that this channel is going to turn into a bait making bonanza. Let us add to the lineup. Wasn't that the name of a... Was Bonanza the name of a restaurant? Bonanza. Like a buffet? Did you guys see what I was drawing? This is gonna be insane. It's not just that as the bait. That is gonna be a 3-piece mold. Open pore bottom, 2-part top injection with a big 4-aught beast hook going through the whole thing and a center resin poured insert to put the weight and the buoyancy into this bait. Complicated stuff right here. I think I've only been to that restaurant once. And I don't think it was called Bonanza. Boganza? It was a buffet. Subpar food. Let's get started. Something a lot like this, actually. This is a 9-inch swim bait. Same style. It's got a treble on the bottom, hook on the top, big 7-aught hook on the top. And this does have a resin insert with weight in it. This was just made out of a 2-piece mold. Single injection, shot the whole bait, and then I painted it. See, I want to hand pour a color and then inject a color so we can have a laminate of a full-sized injection style swim bait. Man. Words, but we got through that. That's what I'm going for. Oh, dang it. I just realized I need to go get ink for my printer and some poplar to carve this out. You'd think I'd have some poplar right there. I do not. I need inch-thick stock poplar to carve this out with. The thickest part of this bait's just going to be an inch wide. Back from the store. I went with something other than poplar. Basswood. Real carving wood. Ideal for carving and crafting. So I already changed my mind. I think the thickest part of this bait's going to be 1 1/8 inch, and that will be the tail. So I got to mark that on this block and cut that out first. A block of wood. That's it for this video. On to the... I'm just kidding. But this is going to be multiple parts. This stuff's complicated. It requires multiple parts, okay? Somebody recently called me like immature for using a glue stick to glue this stuff to wood. That really got to me. I thought it was a good idea. People sent me glue sticks. I'm not going back to that crappy spray adhesive. So now to get these fins, whatever these fins are called right here, more protrudy and like something outside of the body of this bait, I'm gonna do a little bit of dremeling right here. Now I gotta find center on this bait for these fins. The one down here and the one up here. It's about an 1/8 inch thick on both of those, so we can cut those out already. I am liking this basswood. I don't normally use basswood, but I'm liking it today. I'll probably like it right up to the point I snap a fin off because it's so soft. We'll see. The closer you get your face, the better you do as a bait maker. Bait making tip of the day right there. You can't be wearing safety glasses either. I just realized I have to be doing that up here too. Let's do that up there too. I feel like that one should be a little bit thicker for some reason. So that's what I did. Just a hunch. This channel functions on hunches. Okay. Well, I cut into the line on that one, but good thing I made that one thicker. My hunch was correct. I had to make it thicker because I'd mess it up. Bob Saget. Oh, it doesn't matter if I mess it up over here. That's not going to be on the finished bait. Doesn't matter. Didn't matter. I did it. See, I did it again. It doesn't matter. I'm automatically just pulling the chisel this way. Staying away from that thin little fin. Little fin. Pausing and looking at what you're doing while not doing anything to it is always a good idea. Just making sure the grain is the correct direction to where if I just slam this chisel in here to get this chunk off, I'm not going to tear it into the bait. Dang. Pretty much just did that in one chunk. You guys better be satisfied. Yeah, I know, I just cut into that right there. I don't care. We'll sand it down later. No big deal, guys. Did I just cut myself? No. Whew. Wow. I thought I just ran my thumb along the length of that blade. I kind of did. You can see a little bit of a cut. I was cleaning off the blade and I did it at a... that is gross. There. Not quite there. Still kind of freaked out from cutting my thumb almost. Yucky. But there. Very blocky still. Time to cut the bait out in this direction. Let's do some measuring and make some marks. There. That's the shape. That's the stuff right there. That's gonna look good. I made sure not to go past that fin when I was marking that out too. I'm still gonna have some of this fin that hangs down. That was important. So that thing that I said was important, no longer important. I sanded it off, didn't need it. We don't need fins down there that protrude. I can just carve them onto the body, no big deal. Now, this tail section right there is a little choppy and unfinished and not the correct shape. I'm gonna use a Dremel with a drum bit attachment. One of those. I think that's 60 grit. These will remove material. You gotta be careful with a fresh one of these. How does this get so tight? There we go. Before we have at it, let's draw some lines. Let's be responsible. Okay, enough lines. Okay, dusty. Oh. The shape of the tail is much more appropriate now. It's a good way to start. And the shape of this bait is coming to life. I was thinking that in order to have some pectoral fins. The pectoral fins are the ones up here. What are these? In order to have these protrude a little bit, I'm gonna have to chamfer the edges. And where those fins will be, I won't chamfer the edges and I'll carve out of that. That's how I'll end up making them much more three-dimensional than they would be, just stuck against the body, you know. But the next step is just that, make the chamfers, carve the chamfers. Don't carve there to there. And that will leave wood for me to carve fins out of. Right there and right there. It's so weird saying my son's name now when I'm making a bait and it means something else. Little fin. I don't mean weird, but it's peculiar. That probably just meant the same thing. How peculiar. Good gravy. Basswood. So easy. I haven't snapped a fin off either. Basswood might be my go-to for carving out masters of soft plastic lures. Even resin lures. I bought 10 pounds of silicone for this winter and all the projects that we'll be doing. We'll need a lot of mold making material, so I got some. I know, I cut past the line. It needed to be that way. The lines are just rough guidelines. They're not official. So I drew out some lines on those spots where the fins are supposed to be right there. I kind of want them flat on the bottom and then curving down a little bit. I think that would be most appropriate for the shape of this bait. A little bit of line scoring first, and then some cutting to that line that I scored. You have to block the shape off first. That's pretty standard in carving, just getting a blocked off shape to work with. So those will, you know, there'll be something. It'll look like there's something there. That's all I was going for. Just I want something there. I'll figure it out. Those will look better. Oh, easy does it. Easy does it. We don't need none of that. The bait is okay. Don't be afraid to clamp the bejesus out of your stuff. It will leave marks. Stop worrying about it. It will leave marks. You can sand those out. The marks aren't deep. Like, you're not ruining your bait if you leave marks like that. Just sand them out. So, clamp it. And then sand it. I'm more talking to myself. I'm not shaming you guys. This is a 6-inch bait, by the way. I think I forgot to say that. 6-inch internal harness swim bait. Around the fin up here, you can't do this. Believe it or not. So you gotta just get in there by hand. Get your thumb in there. Take your time. Just understand that it takes time, and take it. And give it. I mean, you're not taking it, you're giving it. Give time. Some Buddhism stuff right there. Why don't they say give your time instead of take your time? Take your time. Because you're like spending time on something. You're not taking time away from something. Or maybe you are. Opportunity cost. That's a more economical way of thinking about it. Taking your time. I'm going to say give your time from now on. Finances can be daunting. I have sanding belts like this in all shapes and sizes and grits. Pretty useful if you're clamping stuff in your vise and sanding this way. There is always some Eastern boy that tells me to make a mullet lure. This is pretty much like a mullet lure. At least it's gonna have the shape. For surf fishing, you know, quick little mullet. Funny name for a fish, but here you go, Eastern boys. There's your mullet. I'm gonna think of it more as a chub. We fish with chubs around here. All right, after a solid half hour of sanding, I'm gonna line up these eye sockets and drill them. This one's getting 1/4-inch eye sockets. Made a stencil for the gills. That's right, we're already on to gill carving. Super smooth build so far. I have run into no issues other than sanding off those fins. Not even an issue. No issues. And yes, this is the old utility knife. I always go back to it. Nothing beats it. I don't care if you are some sort of master carving dude that uses something else. Nothing beats the utility knife for fine carving. Gill carving. You cannot beat this. Don't tell me that you can. Up, 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 up. Shh. Shh. No. Utility knife all the way. The secret to clean carving is sanding. Sand your carvings. That's it. Even if what you carved is stupid, at least it's clean, you know? At least it's clean. Clean. Before this video comes to a sad, regretful end, I got a question. Which is kind of cool, because I can ask you guys, like, what you think I should do. Not just what I should do, because I'm not just going to do anything you guys tell me to, but I'll ask, what do you think I should do? Leave that tail square, or make it more natural? I'm kind of developing an appreciation for the square that is. It might be pretty thumpy. I don't know if I've ever seen a square boot tail. Riddle me that. Keep the square or no? And yes, this video is coming to an end. I'm thinking every other day, a new video every other day. One last look before I go. This is where we are at. Remember, this is going to be the master for a 3-piece mold. It's right here. The 4/0 beast hook is going to go inside of these, but outside of the 4/0 beast hook is going to be a resin casting with bird shot and microspheres and everything for buoyancy. Complicated build, but that's what this winter is going to be full of. Complicated builds. Enjoy me being confused all winter. On to the next. Did I do bonus fishing? Bonus fishing. Bonus fishing. I didn't record anything for the bonus fishing before I went fishing. I just went fishing. Fishing with conventional stuff. I didn't fish with anything that I made. So enjoy that too. Just fishing with some store-bought lures. I didn't say on to the next bait after the bonus fishing either. I just went fishing. It's a very casual fishing video. But here you go. On to the next bait making bonanza. Do I have something? Yes, I have something. Oh my goodness, fishing with a store-bought lure. How embarrassing. It really felt like I snagged whatever this is. Nope, it's a bass. A legitimate chunky bass. This is the lure I found on the bank. Wow. It's official. Bass-like lures you find on the bank. Be free. He ends up messing with that thing more than fishing. Like he tells us like where all the deep spots are. He's not even fishing.
It's nice to know that information, though.
Yeah. I think so, yeah. It's on a scatter wrap. I need to tighten this drag. Man. All the commenters are gonna give me crap for that. Another nice bass. Okay. Onto the bank. Costco. No?
You guys do a lot of topping down there?
Yeah, that's where we get all of our food. There you go. Almost got your gills, but I didn't. Fishing with a scatter wrap now. Another 2-pounder or so. Be free. Oh, I just had another hit. Wow. They're over here. I saw the fish. It was right at the bank here. I bet there's pike in here if there's pike in the other one. Me too. Another one. Small bass. I think we found a good spot. Nice. Oh, shoot. Missed a fish. Oh, pike, I think. On the bucktail. Yeah, I got a pike. On the bank. Woo! Yeah, it's a decent pike. You big toothy beast, let go. You don't want this. Pike on a bucktail. It's official.